Well, welcome. Thank you all for coming to allow me to demonstrate 1 hour of a relational group psychotherapy. And I think off air I was talking about the difference between individual psychotherapy in a group and a relational group psychotherapy. So we're basically going to have an hour where we'll have a co-created therapeutic hour. So whatever comes out of it will come out of it. But it is different from individual therapy in a group. It's very much about co-creating a group, being able to talk about whatever you wanted to talk about. But one of my pleas will be to talk, how can I explain this? To be able to transact with all of us. So it's much more an us experience rather than an I experience. So if you want to say to somebody, well, I'd like you, is it okay for me to speak in a different way, or can I check up on that? So you would do it out of respect. You'd check up first if you wanted to, say, confront somebody. So it's a much more different experience perhaps than individual psychotherapy. So we have an hour, and the rest is up to you. Perhaps I will start, which is to thank you for coming. And probably one of the most important relational principles of this type of a group is security and safety. So let's start there and talk. How do you feel in terms of secure and safety, Shahida?
I feel okay about it because I've been here before. I'm aware of the environment. A little bit of the unknown though, because I don't know what's going to happen today, but otherwise I do feel safe and secure. Yes.
So what you're saying, I think, is that you feel safe and secure because you've been here before.
Yeah.
In terms of, I know you do your training here, so you're familiar with the room and you know me.
Yes.
And what about other people? Do you feel secure and safe with them?
Yes, because I'm aware of them. For example, I've been with Marilyn. We're on the same training group. And Julia, we're on the same training group. I feel safe and secure with Chris, even though I've not met him before and it's the first time I've met him. We're doing the same thing, so yeah.
So you have a sense of feeling safe in this group?
Yeah, a bit calm, yeah.
Because you're in the same training group,
Yeah.
at least of two of the people.
Yeah.
And even though you don't know Chris, you feel secure with him?
Yeah, I could say so, because we're here to do the same. We're here to do the same training today. We're here for the same reason, and he seems quite calm to look at as well. When I met you the first time, I like what you're wearing, and you seem chilled out. So yeah.
Is that true, Chris? What she just said there in terms of being chilled out?
Broadly, it's a sense that I project, definitely. When you asked us to sort of check in with our sense of safety, I'm aware of some anxiety that I'm carrying, and it's not attached to anyone here.
It's from the past, would you say?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a bit of a sense of anxiety that lives in my body from time to time, which is just about being seen, being noticed, speaking up for myself.
Is that to do with a feeling of exposure that, in terms of the anxiety I was thinking? I'll stop it.
A feeling of exposure.
Yeah, being seen, and the way you said that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's to do with the feeling of exposure, and being. I think I've had quite a few experiences of being misunderstood throughout my life. But I think that in some ways I've been hard to understand as a character, and I've perhaps had experiences where people don't necessarily have the time to sit down, take the time to understand me, and I think that that's left me with a sense that I am not understandable easily, and that's a lonely experience, and a lonely and frightening experience for a young human. So I trace it to that, I think.
And maybe also for an adult human.
Yeah.
I was thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So as I'd like this experience to be reparative, is there anything you need to do to check up whether the people, or so you don't repeat the same experience somehow, you need to check up with them so that you aren't perhaps misunderstood? Or if you feel misunderstood, you could say something, but I was wondering if you needed something from the people now.
Yeah, something to check out with other people. I think I like that. I like the fact that I've been allowed to say that, first of all, to say how I feel, to say what's in my body. I can already feel it calming down. Just to say it's here, if that's like a part of me, to see it and speak it into the space. Like, I already start to know that I can be understood. To recognise a similar thing that you said, Shahir, that we're here to do the same thing is really important, and in that way we're peers, and we're speaking the same language in a similar way, and to know that we can take time to understand each other. We can say if we feel misunderstood.
You see, I was wondering, because you heard Sheila speak, she knew Marilyn and Julia from her own training group, so they sort of have a past history, if you like, and I was wondering how you felt about that when you heard that, and also if that was a fertile ground somehow to be misunderstood, or you're thinking about that.
Could be. I was thinking about it when you said it, and I'm obviously aware that I haven't met you guys before today. Yeah. And I think that what I can do sometimes, and I think maybe I was noticing myself doing that before we started filming, that I can speak without thinking about it sometimes, just from that nervous place. And I think that sort of adds to the idea of it tends to bring about not being understood, because I'm not necessarily listening to myself. So I think that the fact that we don't know each other features. Yeah. Yeah. I'm aware. Yeah, there's part of me sort of like peeking out, sort of like shyness, really.
You said fear of being seen, and I feel that one very strongly myself. Yeah, because I also have that sense of anxiety about how exposed are we going to be here in this situation and in the future, because it's being recorded. So yeah, I feel that one quite strongly. Having said that, I do feel secure with all of you here, and like you said, we've only just met, but I'm getting good vibes, shall we say. So I'm working on that, trying to ground myself in the place, in the people, in the experience.
And I heard you say one of the fears of exposure for you was this going to be recorded, and that is an added aspect to this. And I was wondering what you needed from me or any of us, particularly to help you in the state of groundedness that you talked about.
possibly a little time. I might need to think a bit more about what I say, rather than rushing into things. That would help. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's...
So you have some space to
to
into the
process
process.
what's going on and to understand what I want to, how I want to respond to it.
And how do you feel at the moment in terms of the responses since you've been talking the last 2-3 minutes? With us
I don't feel threatened at all.
Oh, good.
It's not quite a comfortable space yet, but it's going that way. Always takes me a little while to settle down. New spaces. But a co-creative environment's a lovely thing when it's right. It's wonderful. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to this. It'll be interesting.
Well, thank you for responding.
That's what I'm here for.
Now, given what you just said, I mean, in terms of needing space and to get into the process.
Thank you.
And how are you, Marilyn, in terms of security and safety, and are you to listen to other people?
Yes, I'm feeling very curious, very conscious of how I'm feeling within myself, hearing other people speak. I was just reflecting, I was very impressed with Shahida starting and how well she spoke and how relaxed she was. I was really interested hearing you speak about really being quite open about how you feel being in the group. You were really open before we started as well, and really made me feel comfortable that we were going to be going into quite an intimate space together, really opening up, and I thought, oh, that's okay. And Julia, you just speaking up, saying you need time to process, and I was just really impressed with you volunteering and coming into that space to reassure and also create a sense of us being together. And so in some way I feel like I'm catching up. And in terms of recording, I'm really conscious of that this is something quite special that we are doing as your legacy. And so the recording for me is, there's a sense of I want to do the right thing so that this is valuable to you. And at the same time I'm trying to rationalize that so that I don't overthink that.
Well, thank you for that kindness, and I'd like to give you permission. Well, permission is probably the wrong word, but just to be yourself, I think is valuable. Just being you.
Yeah.
So I understand what you mean as well.
And how are you feeling?
I feel settled now we've started. I think before I was a bit nervous because we're being filmed, and also I think what you talk about, Marilyn, the importance of listen for the future, for students to listen to, and also to talk about my work and to do this hour really. And I've got more settled, using the phrase, I think. And I was just thinking how, I think you brought it along, how valuable this time is we've got. So thank you. One thing I was thinking about, Chris, and I felt very moved about, is when you talked about or you alluded to your history a little bit about anxiety and exposure and how that could bring aloneness. And different from your history, in the here and now, and I was wondering how you felt there in terms of aloneness.
Well, before you mentioned that, I was sitting with that sense of the sacredness of this moment, this time, and there's a sort of double feeling that goes on. There's a sweet sadness, and which I think is sometimes related to grief, and there's a gratitude as well, and those things often coexist for me. So I was sitting just enjoying that feeling, wondering whether to say that out loud, but ultimately just enjoying the feeling and trusting that there'd perhaps be some kind of attunement between us, and it didn't necessarily need to be said. As you mentioned, my past, a little spike of anxiety comes up, like a fear of being exposed and like whatever, and then the here and now again, I'm like back in this feeling of being glad to be here, being able to contain those like less comfortable feelings.
It wasn't my intention for you to feel exposed at all.
Thanks, Bob. Yeah, I know. I think it's that tendency to over-explain and potentially overexpose myself that comes up, and it's just something that more and more I get comfortable with watching that come up and knowing that I don't need to be driven by that.
And I was also really aware, and I feel moved as I'm speaking now, but when you talked about grief, you put your hand on your heart, so from that I wondered how you were. It sounds like you put your hand on your heart when you're talking about grief, so maybe you had a memory fleetingly.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I did want to say that.
Yeah, I've experienced a lot of that in the last few years and sort of made friends with it.
With grief.
Yeah. So it's not an unpleasant feeling, it's equally pleasant and unpleasant that way. It's a very rounded feeling for me when I have that. I value it.
You value that feeling of grief. It's almost like you're saying, and you didn't use this word, but so I don't think it's accurate, but I'm going to use it anyway. Almost like you've embraced that feeling somehow.
Yeah, I have.
That's really interesting. I've had quite a lot of bereavement this year as well, and I haven't dealt with quite a lot of it. So I'm really interested in that process of embracing grief. How do you do that? What allows you to feel the grief but be comfortable with it? Yeah.
Different levels. So like, I lost my dad a few years ago, and I lost my mum about 1.5 years ago. And the ways that I sort of like negotiated that were different based on the level to which I'm in touch with myself. So for my mum was this fuller sense of feeling, like there was a lot of a chance to try and get needs met that I perhaps thought she should be able to meet while she was here, to realise that she couldn't, because she's a human as well as my mum, and to make peace with that with her. So to have a full goodbye with my mum was really important, and like really healing for all the other things that I've experienced, whether it's the grief of needs unmet in the past or whatever else. And the way that I'm okay with it is on different levels, that I'm aware that this is a feeling of love for my mum. I'm aware that this is a feeling of love for everyone, everything I've had a relationship with that I've lost and loved. And myself, the care that I have for myself. At the same time, there's an honouring that these people and things are not in my life anymore, or not in this life anymore. And there is a gratitude for this life, because I'm walking about thinking, well, she can't experience this anymore. Whatever I believe, I know that she can't experience this anymore like this. So that's the way that gratitude links in with it.
Yeah, I'm connecting with some of that, but not all of it. It's going to take a bit of chewing, I think, a bit of digesting. But yeah, that's a really good process. I'd like to be able to connect with it further, I think.
I'm curious what you can connect with.
Well, for myself, I have a sense of gratitude for having known that person, or those people. A sense that their life work is complete, so there is completion there. I'm still going through the sadness. But it's a sense, yeah, there's the gratitude that I knew them and they formed me in some way. That is valuable, I think. And I don't think I'd acknowledged that before. Yeah.
Does that answer your curiosity?
It does. Makes me feel more connected to you.
I lost my father a couple of years ago, same as you, but I lost my mother much earlier. And that one comes up and wants me on the back of the head from time to time, which it's doing now. So in terms of unmet needs, there are an awful lot there.
So your mother's come into the room.
Oh yes.
As we talk.
Yeah, she's usually with me, but it's a comforting knowledge, I think, for the most part.
What, her being with you?
Yes, yeah. So I don't always get to this point with the grief. Not always. You're no different. Yeah.
So in some ways, the connection is that Chris asked about is, or what you get in touch with anyway, is your mother's, a soothing process really, that your mother's always around.
Yes, yeah.
And then you said that stops the grief somehow.
Yeah. That sense of connection is there whether the person is or not.
Okay.
I mean, that may be connected to religious belief or not, and I don't know, but it works for me. It's real for me. Both my parents are now dead, but I don't feel orphaned, if that makes sense.
Makes great sense.
Yeah, I mean, it probably helps that I have brothers and sisters, so we're all connected in that way. Yeah.
So are you saying so? I said it makes great sense, and then I thought, well, perhaps don't know what I mean by that, but I need to check something out then. So when you say it's not like being orphaned, do you mean something like being really alone in this world then?
Yes, being abandoned and kind of, lonely on my own. I don't feel that.
Because they're still with you?
Because they're still with me, and because I have other family around me.
Oh,
I have
okay.
my own family and I have my birth family. Yeah. So you just remember, well, I just remember that they're still a part of that, whether they're here on this planet or not. So, you know, I'm not lost.
And we're here with you as well at this moment. I think I feel really moved by what you're saying, and I wanted to say that because when Chris said he felt more connected, I'm going to say it as well. I feel more connected with you as you talk about.
Well, we don't
You
know
know
each other
what,
very
Gav?
well yet, do we, Bob? We've known each other 3 years, but not very closely. So we're going to find out quite a lot about each other, I should think, in this experience.
Well, so what did you mean by that? That when you said not very closely, do you mean? Well, what do you mean by that? Just so I understand it a little bit.
Although you come in and out of our training groups, you come in with a message which you
okay.
deliver, and then you go away.
Yes, there's no
And
sort of
There's no personal connection
no.
for the most part. So, as a person, I have an idea of you, but I don't know if it's a real truth or not.
Okay,
I'm
so
curious to find that out.
would you like to check that out or ask me any questions in terms of
No, I'll let it unfold as the process
connection
goes.
in this group? No, I wanted to give that permission to you because I really admire what you've talked about and your move towards connection, and so there's something I give back in terms of connection.
Thank you.
I'm
Appreciate
more
it.
than pleased to, or happy, whatever the words is, to provide that.
Thank you.
So maybe there's perhaps even, I hear you want to give time for it to percolate, but maybe there's one question or curiosity that you'd like to ask or not.
Well, I know you're from Birmingham, and I think you're from Acox Green, if that's right. That's the connection I have with you. That's where my husband's from. So I'm a little bit curious about your background to see if there's any commonality, because we're similar age, and I think you're a little bit older than I am.
I'm 75.
Yeah, so I'm early 60s, and so is my husband, so perhaps we're a bit separated
Well,
there.
let me tell you a little bit more then. Because I was born in Brecon, North Wales. Then both my parents died, so I went into an orphanage, which was also in Brecon. And then I was adopted a year later by my adopted parents, of course, who took me to Acox Green, which is where you know, at the age of 3. So 3 years before that, I was somewhere else. And then I stayed until I was 12 in Acox Green, and then I moved to Evesham, which I stayed for 2.5 years. So, do I come from Birmingham? Partly. I spent most of my life in Manchester.
Yeah.
I came to Manchester when I was 29 and 75 now.
Do you identify as a Mancunian?
No. I said it quite quickly. I think I identify more. I think it's to do with adoption and the fact that I didn't have a secure home. I don't really identify with many places. I wouldn't say I have an identification in one particular place. Perhaps this house where we are sitting now, which I bought in 1988, is probably my most secure base. Perhaps I identify with Chiltern more than anyone else.
Yeah. It's interesting how we develop our sense of identities.
Yeah, and especially for adopted and fostered people, I think it's more fragmented. Or I felt it was for me.
Yes, I like it so. Thank you.
Gee, how does that what does that mean to you? This sort of.
I have a better feel for you as a person, I think.
Oh, okay. Feel more connected than any.
Yeah.
Because I do, sharing that.
Yes. Yeah. I can feel it. I was born and brought up in Nottingham and Wolverhampton.
Oh, I know Nottingham very well.
Can't say I do anymore.
Well, I live there, in the Meadows area.
Right, I was in Woollerton.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. But we moved from there when I was about 7, and my mother died a couple of years later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that was.
And she's still here, you said, so
Yeah.
listening to us.
She's around. Yeah. Yes, it's a strange feeling. It's like having somebody in your corner. Go on, you're doing well. It's very. Well, I said it before. It's very comforting. It's very reassuring. Yeah. Which is what this training has been for me.
What about other people? As you listen to this conversation about connection and grief and.
I was conscious of when Julia mentioned earlier being an orphan, I was conscious of there was a reaction from you, and I was.
What sort of reaction? Because I'm inside.
I noticed a stiffening. I could actually see something, and you leant slightly forward as you asked her, as you questioned that, and I thought, there's some charge here. I wonder what this is. And when you've disclosed that to her, that's been a recognition for me of why. And yes, it also has moved me. I really could sense how alive that is for you. In hearing that word, in hearing what that means, there is still such a alive experience for you. And I was wondering, when she then clarified that she had family and that it was easier being an orphan because she has this family around, I was curious, do you have siblings and do you have family and experience some of that, or is orphan alone for you?
No, I haven't got the family you're talking about in terms of siblings, no. And what was the second part about being alone?
Is orphan, Julia mentioned that she's not completely alone as an orphan, abandoned, alone, and that was sort of her connection and explanation of the word orphan. And I was wondering if that is closer to your
feeling alone.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's diametrically opposite to people who've had secure families, which I didn't have, so I can have a sense of aloneness. Though I've been married for 30 years and have a daughter and a wonderful family, so I think that takes away some of the aloneness.
And is that sense of aloneness something you use when you're doing therapy with clients? Do you think that is something that influences how you see and work with your clients?
I think I can identify people's histories, and if it comes up, yeah. If it doesn't, I think it'll stay in my background. As an immigrant to this country and somebody who didn't grow up here, and who often has a very strong don't belong driver, listening to you guys talking about place names and all that, it's interesting how that makes me feel, gosh, I don't have that. I don't have that sense of belonging in this country. And you were talking about
how it's not a specific place for you. And I was thinking, oh, okay, well, I connect with that. That makes sense to me.
So, you were born in South Africa?
Yes.
Yeah, so now you're here.
Yeah.
So, I think you're saying you have a sense of not belonging a lot? Or
Yes.
you carry it with you anyway?
Yes, yes.
And in this group, do you feel that, or how are you feeling now?
I was feeling it slightly as you guys were speaking. Obviously, this is a room where I train. I'm doing therapy here now, so I see my clients here, and there is a really strong connection for me in this house, as you were speaking of that as well. Yeah.
So, I'm not sure if I compensate that, but I think I was thinking about whether you bring this into this group now, a sense of not belonging, or your feeling of belonging, or I don't know where you are with it quite.
I think it's a really, really strong driver from a very long time ago, an injunction from when I was very little. And it is something that I'm working with as I have been training and as I have been making my progress on my psychological journey. And perhaps it's something that I'm also comfortable with. Chris, as you were speaking about, grief is something that you are learning to be comfortable with. Maybe I'm using it as well. And when I'm recognizing that it's happening for me, I'm conscious and I'm actually going, okay, well, where are the connections? So these are the differences, but where are the connections? So it can be something quite useful.
So
when I use it consciously.
So with the 5 of us, I was thinking about belonging, how you feel in terms of co-creation and sense of belonging here. Because for me, I said to you earlier on about being yourself. And being you here. Because for me, in this hour, you belong here.
Yeah.
For me, I'm not saying for you,
yes,
you feel that way. I just wanted to say though, for me you belong here and you're valuable.
Thank you.
And I've always appreciated that in you, and in this room. I wanted to say that to you.
Thank you.
Don't know if that helps you belong in any way, but I wanted to say.
I was wondering, as I think maybe all of us did, how did I get into this? This morning as I was getting ready to come here, I was thinking, oh my God, how did I get into this? What the heck am I doing? And sitting here speaking earlier, I just recognized, the drive to being here is to be in connection, and to be in connection with you in particular. Yeah, so that was interesting, an answer to a question. Yeah.
Well, I hope the connection leads to you feel that you can allow yourself to belong here for this hour.
Yeah. I felt when Chris said earlier that you finished this 4 years and you were telling me a bit about your practice. I really felt the connection with you, and I was thinking, oh gosh, I'm following you. There was a real sense of we're in a process together. You're a bit ahead of me, so I'm really curious about how that's going for you. What can I learn? Yeah.
Yeah, perhaps career-wise, in that specific sense, there's some things I could tell you about what it's like to run a freelance business or something like that. But in therapy and at this institute. But I don't know about the rest of that process, It's like I don't see ahead or not. It's like we're all in a an ocean, and I don't know, it's like an infinite ocean, isn't it? So like, who's closest to the shore in an infinite ocean? And now I'm thinking that these are the kind of abstractions that might alienate me from people sometimes. But yeah.
And are you saying to the way you've responded there, are you sort of wondering in your head whether you're alienating yourself from us?
Yeah, I am. Do you get what I'm on
No,
about?
I don't think so. No, you've made me remember a thing that happened to me fairly early on in my journey. We were just approaching the beginning of clinical practice, and I found myself scared stiff of the idea. And I felt like I was standing on a cliff with an ocean underneath me. And I had to dive into that ocean. And I didn't know what I was going to find. So the ocean metaphor rings true for me. Not sure it's an infinite ocean for me. And there's still a sense of a personal journey. Yeah. Are you still finding that?
Yeah. I think the thing that I wanted you to hear was that I don't see myself as further along.
Yeah, I'm
Because I don't know
hearing
how
that.
to measure that.
Yeah.
And there's a journey. I don't know that there's an end to it. I'm certainly enjoying the process. Definitely at the moment.
And how are you enjoying this process in terms of alienation, you see, and what's happening for you on the inside? I hear what Julia said. I don't know whether you feel alienated or not here.
No, I don't feel alienated here.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's important to me because I care for you, and I want you, like I said to Marilyn, this comes from me and perhaps my own history, but I want you to feel you belong here because you do.
Yeah, I do.
And what about you, Shahida? Because started off, and I haven't heard of you since, and I know this is my own fantasy. It's because I know some of these things we started talking to are very close to your heart. That's my fantasy because, like your nationality and where you come from, to belong and identity and things I know a bit about you. I was wondering what was happening for you in the last 20 minutes.
There's a lot been happening since I've been listening to everything you've all been saying, and it's all been so resonating with me. I'm going to pick out a few things that you've all said that resonate with me, and I've been sat here with sadness, confusion, and thinking, wow, Chris, what you said, you make friends with grief, that really got me. How do you make friends with grief? How? And I really had the utmost respect when you said that, because I thought, maybe that's something I need to do, because I've not been able to do that. And then there's something you mentioned. You don't feel orphaned. And I was like, that's a difficult one for me. My circumstances are, I lost a parent when I was very young, and then I lost another parent who I didn't have a relationship with, and then I lost three siblings, and with each loss I kind of lost myself with how to deal with each one, but I know which one was the worst one for me, and that's why I'm sat here with all this confusion. And then yourself, when you said you've been adopted and you're someone who's not had biological parents, however I'm not really entirely sure how were raised adopted, so I'm really confused and I'm just trying to soak it all in. I was in a similar situation as you this morning. I was like, what have I done? What am I doing? Why am I doing this? But I was doing it because I want to learn, and I want to get out of this bubble that I've been in, where I won't go on anything like social media or anything, and I want to face my fear. That's what I'm here for, to help you as well. That's where I'm at.
Oh, you said such a lot there, and I was very moved when you talked about your loss.
Oh, I feel better. I was sat here thinking, oh, I hope I don't.
Hope you don't.
I hope I don't dissolve is the word. But I've kept myself together, which is what I needed. But yeah, I just needed to say all that. I don't know how it came out, but it did.
That was good to hear. From me sitting here, I liked hearing it. I liked hearing from you. Yeah. And again, I feel close when you say that, and it reminds me of why I'm here.
Yeah.
Because just this process, sitting down together, is powerful. Just speaking into the circle. And I came here without expectations for this process itself. I just put it over there, and I'm feeling it now, and I'm glad it's being documented, and it's because people need this. People need to see what this is.
Yeah. It makes me think grief is so big. There's no one size fits all with grief, is there? I don't think. I think to myself, wow, I've had all these losses, and I really don't know how to deal with each one at times. I question whether I've dealt with it or whether I'm still dealing with it. But like I say, I know which one was the worst for me, and I'm still dealing with that 35 years
later.
Yeah. I've never really been able to become friends with that grief.
It doesn't surprise me from what you're telling me. Yeah. That's so young to have that happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Reminds me of, first of all I was very moved with what you said, Shahida, but it reminds me of a saying, and I'm not sure if it was Irvin Yalom who said it. I think it predates him way back to perhaps 100 years. But the saying, I think it was from the Sufis, that nobody's really dead until the last person who knew them dies. And I want to say that to you because loss is a discussion here.
Yeah.
There's no way, there isn't a universal pattern to deal with grief. We deal with grief the way we deal with it.
That's right. That's what I meant earlier when I said when do you really get over grief? You don't really, I don't think. Yes, you might be able to, like yourself, Chris, like you said, you become friends with grief. At which point do you know that you've healed from it?
How do you answer that, Shahida? For yourself, I mean.
How do I know whether I've healed?
Yeah,
with
in your
my
own
grief?
head, I thought it might be linked to what you started off with about 5 minutes ago when you talked about being confused.
Yes.
I mean, I can tell you what I think about
Okay.
what you've asked me, but I was also interested in how you answer that yourself. in terms of, do we ever get over grief, or are there different stages of grief, or how do we know we've healed from grief? These are sort of questions that I thought you were sort of talking about in your head.
Yeah, I think that's where the confusion is. Even though I know the stages of grief and, you know, how to help yourself heal from grief, however, on a personal level, I read about it. I'm obviously delivering therapy, and I want to learn more about grief, and there's a process to grief. However, I feel we're all individuals and we all deal with grief in different ways. So that's where the confusion lies. Yeah.
I wonder if, I've also experienced loss at quite, as a young adult, and a significant loss which had quite significant implications for me. And I think the experience that I have followed, which has really helped, is talking with other people who feel grief and recognizing that it is very individual to each person.
Yeah.
But there's something about being able to be open and authentic, and with people who you know have an understanding of what you're saying, and you can feel and see the empathy that somehow allows you to recognize you live with it. There is a way to live with it, and it's ongoing. I don't think, just in terms of what we believe, I very much believe the Sufi saying, the people who I have lost are in my life all the time. I speak to them all the time. They are very much present with me. I don't. I'm full with love and joy in them, even now. But occasionally there will be times when I miss them so terribly. So just as in our relationship when they were alive, I experience, a range of emotions in my living with them still. So there'll be instances where something happens and I think, oh God, my brother and I would have just loved this.
Yeah.
And I'll be able to laugh
Memories.
thinking his reaction. And there'll be other times I think, oh my God, I just wish I could have him stand here and put his arms around me.
Yeah.
But both of those are equally valid. And I hope I never lose either of those.
I can say one thing is for certain, that grieving is to do with the heart. I don't really think about grief. I don't have a cognitive understanding. But I think grieving is a heart-to-heart process. It's harder to grieve if we have a closed heart.
If we haven't closed on it.
No, it's harder to grieve if we have a closed heart.
Okay.
I believe.
What do you mean, a closed heart?
If we don't feel or allow ourselves to feel, or
Is that a protection coping mechanism?
that's where I come from. Yeah.
Because once you open that heart, that's it, isn't it?
What do you mean that's it?
You feel vulnerable then, and you don't know how you're gonna deal with that. Because that's what you've done.
I felt very moved when you were talking about, and Chris came in and said a loss 35 years ago, and he talked about that, and I felt very moved because I felt you were talking about a vulnerable part in your life, and felt more connected to you.
Did you?
Because of your vulnerability, you shared that as well, which is a compliment to us, I think.
And I just want to thank you all for just listening to what I said, which was, it's just, I was sitting here and it was just, there was one thing after another and I was like, whoa, you know, transfers, could you call it?
Well, I'm just wondering, is this a movement away from what I just said?
No.
I say, I really appreciate your vulnerability, and then you sort of went somewhere.
That's me never acknowledging a compliment when I get it.
Okay.
Because I've never felt good enough.
I feel sad about that, because like I said to Marilyn, I think I said to Chris, and certainly me to Julia, is you belong here, and I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate your vulnerability that you're sharing.
Thank you.
And like, you do belong here. What you're talking about is important to me, and I'm sure to others, but I can't speak for them, but for me.
Thank you.
The world's not collapsed, you know, because you're vulnerable. I just wanted to say that we're all still here. We're all still here, Sheila. Never sorry that happened to you. All these losses you're talking about, specifically that one 35 years ago.
I think grief isn't just someone you lose, it's like death.
Steph, could you stay with me?
Yes.
Because you're going off again.
I know, yeah.
Sounds like you went. So it's just to do with heart-to-heart transactions,
It is,
is it?
yes.
That somehow you move away from or protect yourself, like you said earlier on.
That is something. The heart-to-heart thing you're talking about is something that I have just had to do to get on in life.
How are you getting on here? This heart-to-heart bit.
It's really hard.
It's hard.
Mm. It's quite difficult.
It's what?
It's difficult.
It's difficult. What's being heart-to-heart is difficult. Well, I do feel more connected to you when you start to these heart-to-heart transactions, and I move away from you when you move away. It's like I want to. Where have you gone?
Because I'm running away from it. It's like, come back.
Well, I feel you go, and I miss you when you go, and I want to come back here where we can connect.
I think that happens a lot with me.
Mm.
I've often been called a closed book.
Not by me, you haven't.
No.
By here,
For
but
the
I'm
first time.
in this group. I admire your sharing and your vulnerability. I'm just also aware we've only got a few minutes left as well. So is it okay if I ask people
Of course. Sure.
they want to say anything back to you and before we maybe close?
Yeah.
Anybody want to say anything before we... I seem to have gone quite quickly.
I'm really moved to see your confusion and how much pain is still present for you. And my curiosity is so alive. I want to know more. And I want to be closer to you and listen to you and and have an opportunity to actually be in connection with you and let you... I hear you say that you had to survive close your heart. And my heart is saying, I want to draw close to you and let you open your heart so that you can feel this. And feel it in a place of safety, where you don't have to be strong.
As we come to the end, I'll say thank you.
Thank you for listening.
So, everyone else, Julie, thank you for what you shared. And I feel it's been a very important hour. Thank you, Kristen. Thank you, Marilyn. And how would you like to end as a group? And sound could be by having one sentence to end, or we could do something even more demonstrative. I've got a way to end. It will be just as quick. And it's to do with heart-to-heart connections. And what we do, we hold hands. So let's stand up and do it. And just what I'm going to do is I'm going to send a connection all the way around. So I press that, and then Marilyn presses her, and we have a card to connection all the way back to my heart. So I'll go. Oh, that's great. So you've all practiced it now? Yeah. So we'll do it again, and I'll send my love all the way around to you as a way of thanks. Thank you.